Country 107.3 WRWD. It's Uncle Mike with you. I've got some guests in the studio with me. We've got a big event coming up this Saturday from 5 to 8 at Boutique Wines, Spirits, and Ciders right there in the Westage Plaza. Is it Westage Plaza? In Fishkill, New York. I know where I've been there, actually, quite a bit. Gennaro is here from Boutique Wines, Spirits, and Ciders. I almost said liquors, Ciders. And Dr. Mack is here, who is from the ccltforvets.org. That's the website, and the organization is CCLT for Vets. That's the number 4, Vets. Good morning, Doctor. How are you?
I am great. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for stopping by. This sounds like a real exciting event. It's there's going to be a suggested donation of $10, but there's going to be raffles and tasting going on. It sounds like a great way to spend a Saturday evening, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And we're raising money for CCLT for Vets, right?
That is correct.
So tell us a little bit about your organization.
Yes. So I lost a couple guys when I was deployed, and I felt that empty hole after leaving the service, so I wanted to continue to do more and to serve, but I didn't want to be paid for doing the right thing. So I created this nonprofit. It is a 501c3, so it's recognized by the IRS and by the state. I always tell people Google us. You can Google me too. And I created it because I didn't just want to honor the guys that my unit had lost and those we had lost completely, period. I wanted to do more than that, so I worked on my PhD, and on my way through my PhD program, I decided I need to create a nonprofit where I get people to do some weird things like abstract creative arts and going out into nature and actually breathing in the air. Because there's a lot of nonprofits out there that say, we're going to offer this service and that service, but they don't back it up. And they don't cater to the very weird and unusual, the outcasted versions of veterans and first responders. And as a result, I decided to incorporate that using some of my behavioral specialist skills. So I provide creative arts therapy like poetry writing, college level, entry level, so anybody can learn that technique. And as a result, we've actually had some of our patrons become published recently, 2 of them.
Cool.
Trying to do more.
So which branch did you serve in?
I was in the United States Air Force, out of the Air National Guard over here at 105th in Newburgh.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. And you were deployed?
I was with the Security Forces unit there.
Where were you deployed?
Afghanistan, Bagram.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, got a fun one.
So now I understand what you're talking about. How many years were you in?
I was only in 3.5 years. I was trying to be a lifer, but, I kind of went kaboom one night, and that kind of ended that career.
So thank you for your service. Thanks for what you did. Thank you for, and it's amazing to me, Gennaro, we'll get to you in just a second, buddy. I didn't forget you. It's amazing to me. I do a lot with veterans. I serve on some of the boards, and that's really what I'm on the air for, is to try to help just what we're doing right here. But veterans' DNA, soldiers' DNAs, most serve. When they get out of the service, they continue to serve, which is what you're doing. Mm-hmm. I can't tell you how many veterans I know that in some way, shape, or form, many of them become police officers, firefighters, EMTs, but many of them are involved in exactly what you're doing, because PTS is a real thing that people don't understand how devastating it is. But from what I've seen over the years with the vet-to-vet groups and things like that, the peer-to-peer mentoring is the only thing that works. Mm-hmm. Because I've been around the service. I never had the honor of serving, but I've been around it all my life, and that's what I do, promoting-wise. But it's not the same.
Yeah.
Another veteran will trust another veteran implicitly. So what you're doing is cool. Alternative ways to help veterans socialize really is the best thing, because the walls come down and they finally talk about things that they haven't talked about in years that they need to talk about. And let's keep growing it. Let's keep it going. Let's get more people involved. You heard her say they're a 501c3, so they can always use help. Go to the CCLT, the number 4, vets.org. I'm sure there's a donate button on there. There's a way to donate. So let's get that out of the way. We need that help. But come to the events like this, right? I mean, that's what we're talking about.
Oh, 100%. And one of the things that we have the pleasure of doing every year is we also, depending on how much donations we make, we try to sponsor a couple more families.
Sure.
at the Renegades, their Veterans Night, which will be August 9th this year.
Yeah.
And we're in charge of tabling, so we try to incorporate as many nonprofits because we're all in this together. And until people realize, hey, that person next to you, you don't know their story. What if they are a veteran? All it takes is conversation and dialogue to open.
I'm speaking with Dr. Mack from CCLT for Vets and Gennaro from Boutique Wine, Spirits, and Ciders about their event, Spirits and Grogs, coming up this Saturday in Fishkill. I can't tell you how many events. We do a lot of picnics during the year with Vet to Vet and other organizations. And if the event is 5 to 7, at 9 o'clock, they're still sitting at the tables talking to each other because that's what you want to see happen, those conversations. And a lot of them find resources that they didn't know about. That's what's going to, even at this event, you're going to have availability of resources that they may not know about, right?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, and we always tell people, so I vet every single nonprofit that we work with. I make sure they have their 501c3. I make sure that I would actually use their services. If I can trust them and I know they have my 6, then those are the organizations we refer our other veterans and first responders too. And as a result, if we don't offer it, we'll send you to somebody that we trust with our lives.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I'm the same way. I make sure the money's going where it's supposed to be going.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of organizations that say they're helping vets and they're helping themselves, unfortunately. And that's really sad when you think about it.
Oh, yeah. I always tell people, like, look, we're not making money. Like, we don't get paid to do this. We do this because we actually love our fellow veterans and first responders, even the ones that were like, I don't really like that guy, but I'm still going to have that guy 6 down range because you never know. You never know. That might be doesn't mean they won't save your life later. So
it's interesting because I get approached by a lot of groups and I vet them to make sure. And if there's anything that even sounds funny, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm like, you haven't proven to me that you're doing what you say you're doing. So let's not waste each other's time. Mm-hmm. So Gennaro, you're a co-owner, I guess, of Boutique Wines, Spirits, and Ciders. I know it's your sister Paige. Is that it?
My sister's Paige. We opened Boutique Wine, Spirits, and Ciders together in 2017.
I remember that.
Yeah, and we've been growing and working with different people and doing different events and hosting events for years.
So I can tell you, it's kind of a nifty store. I like it. I mean, you've got a lot of different. For a liquor store, there's a lot in there. It's not just you're not just selling liquor. You've got a lot of things going on there. So tell us a little bit about the store and how you got involved with Dr. Mack here.
So it's definitely more than just a liquor store. It's a community-based event space that works with a lot of small brands in the adult beverage space. So we are selling wine and spirits and ciders and mead, but we're telling stories and we're talking about family-owned and smaller production brands. We know many of the producers. We've gone to some of the distilleries and some of the wineries, and those people often come into the store. So it's a family store that supports family brands that works within the community.
Wow. How did you get involved with Dr. Mack?
So I met Dr. Mack a couple years ago through a couple of people that we knew together. And we used to go to a place called Saxon Hall for some networking. Oh, sure. For some networking stuff.
Some axe throwing.
Yeah, some axe. Like if you don't like that person, you just throw the axes and it makes you feel better. But when she approached me and she was like, "Hey, I'd love to run an event at your store," I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." So, the idea of being able to, do a tasting, but one that has an outreach into the community and supports those people that have supported the community, whether they are actively serving, they're a veteran, or they're a first responder. All of those people are necessities in our society, and they are the people that make our communities run and function and possible. So the idea that we were able to help and support by giving the space and organizing the tasting and getting a little bit of food in there for that's just great for us.
So the event we're talking about is June 7th. That's this Saturday from 5 to 8 p.m. at Boutique Wine, Spirits, and Ciders, right in the Westage Plaza there in Fishkill, New York, right off Route 9.
Yep.
Can't miss it.
Nope, we're right there.
And it's going to be a raffles and a lot of tasting going on. But the big thing is, first of all, if you're a veteran, come on out and hang out with some other veterans, get that conversation going. And we're going to raise a little money for CCLT for Vets, which is the organization running this. That's Dr. Mack's organization. We got to take a quick break. I've got to pay some bills. And when we get back, we'll talk a little bit more about the event, and we'll find out what's going to exactly be going on Saturday night. Dr. Mack told me she's a huge Luke Bryan fan. So I've got one from Luke coming up just ahead to sing us into the break. Nate Smith's waiting on the other side, and we'll finish our conversation with Dr. Mack and Gennaro about Spirits and Grogs happening this Saturday night in Fishkill. This is Low Cash. I'm Uncle Mike, and you're listening to Uncle Mike for the Workday on iHeartRadio's Country 107.3 WRWD. Gennaro and Dr. Mack are still in the studio with me. Dr. Mack is from CCLT for Vets. That's the number 4vets.org. And Gennaro is a co-owner of Boutique Wines, Spirits, and Ciders in Fishkill. They've got a big event coming up this Saturday, June 7th from 5 to 8 p.m. It's called Spirits and Grogs, which is a cool name for an event. Dr. Mack, how did you come up with that name?
Oh, that was a collaboration, 100%.
That's all you.
One of my friends is in the Navy, and I went to a big party of his, and he told everybody, all right, we're going to sit down and we're going to try this drink. It looked like Pepto-Bismol. It was so gross. The most disgusting thing I ever had in my life. It was a grog, which is pretty much when you have everything in your house that's liquid, especially alcohol, and you pour it into a pot. You mix it up, and then, boom, you have the worst drink in the world called a grog. And everybody drinks from it. And you usually drink it for numerous reasons. In that case, we were drinking it for those who could not come home. And as a result of the tasting, I was like, our stomachs are kind of going to be a grog after the tasting because we're going to try a little bit of different things. But and if you don't like it, there will be be a place to get rid of it. But I don't think I've ever gone to an event of yours that I did not like what was on the menu. And I love the fact that you guys actually give a menu of what somebody is about to sample because, so I'm addicted to his tastings.
Yeah, well, we talked about it in the last segment, Gennaro, how you're not a liquor store. You're more than a liquor store, and you have so many of the smaller distilleries, wineries, meaderies, winery, all the different manufacturers, for lack of a better word, here in the Hudson Valley. And I'm a bourbon drinker, but I find it fascinating, some of the different flavors, because they have such different processes that they come up with, things that you never thought of. Some of the flavors they come up with, you'd like, that doesn't sound like it's going to work together, but then you try it and it's really good.
Yeah.
And it's alcohol, so how can you go wrong, right? So that's interesting, but your store specializes in that, really, right?
Yeah, I mean, we focus on the smaller, more interesting brands. We focus on education and being able to talk about those brands, those spirits, how they were made, where they come from. Because when you're out and about, on a weekend afternoon and you have got to go do the laundry over at the laundromat, or you drop off your dry cleaning, or you have to do grocery shopping. These are the chores. But when you stop by the liquor store at the end, it should be the adult candy store. It should be like, hey, this was the treat that I get for getting all my other stuff done today. And it should be a fun, great experience. If you're like, oh, one more thing, I have to go to the liquor store, you're doing the liquor store experience wrong. So
wow. So boutique wines, spirits, and ciders, an adult candy store.
Basically.
I like that.
It feels like a candy store. It's the only place I go to buy mead because you have the biggest variety of mead that I've seen.
Mead is from honey, right? Is that what it's made from? No,
yeah, mead is alcohol that's been fermented from honey. Yeah. There's a number of different styles. It's not all sweet. It's not all high alcohol. It's not all low alcohol. It's a pretty diverse category. But yeah, it starts off by fermenting honey.
Which is something a lot of people aren't familiar with. Mead is, that's an old drink. I mean, that's been around forever, but not really commercialized that much. Around here it is, though.
Yeah, no, mead is definitely one of those what's old is new again things. Like, it's something that is growing in popularity. There's a number of Renaissance fairs in the area, and they often serve mead. But mead is up and coming again, and but it is one of the oldest forms of alcohol in the world. It predates any of your spirits by far. and it goes back, at least 1,000 years. I mean, we're talking multiple thousands, probably years for mead.
So there's another reason to stop by Boutique Wine, Spirits, and Ciders. Why do I keep saying Ciders? Boutique Wines, Spirits, and Ciders, because they've got a wide selection of mead, which you can finally try, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about Saturday. That's this Saturday, the 7th, from 5 to 8 p.m. at Gennaro's store. Dr. Mack, what's going to happen there? You got some raffles going on. There is a suggested donation of $10 because, as I mentioned earlier, CCLT4vets.org, and that's the number 4, is a nonprofit, and they need your help to keep going, keep doing what she's doing. I mean, it takes money to do things, so let's get on board here. Come find out about them and then make a donation while you're there. But they would like at least a $10 donation if you come. And then there'll be all kinds of tastings, and there's going to be a lot of raffles, a lot of cool things being raffled off, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. We have a tattoo shop that has offered a donation of a certificate for that. Then we just have like little odds and ends. We have a sake basket. There's quite a couple different items. And then, if the crowd is hyped enough, we'll open that 50-50 cash raffle, which would benefit both the person who wins it as well as us. So the tasting itself, though, is just a wonderful thing. We will have some of our veterans and first responders there who are just going to come because they just want to get out of the house. It's a good excuse for like a date night or girls' night, guys' night, just because you want to get out. I say it's a good reason to escape. Yeah. I mean, I escape at your events all the time.
So I'm going to make a suggestion, and it's only me, but 50-50s to me, if I can give $20, whatever I give, and it's a couple hundred you win, I just donate the $20 and give it back to the people. I'm just a suggestion. I'm just saying that's the way I look at it. So, but I mean, if you need the money, you take the money. But if you can give it back, that's even sweeter to me. I'm willing to give you the $20, and you can keep everything else if I win. So I get in trouble a lot because on the tickets I always just put on the back, I don't want it. Give it back to the. So that's just a suggestion. You don't have to do it. But again, it's 5 to 8 this Saturday. Boutique Wine, Spirits, and Ciders, right there in the Westage Plaza in Fishkill. Dr. Mack is going to be there. Gennaro and his sister Paige will be there. I'll be there. My better half Tina is going to be there, and there's this guy Kevin Shrek. I think he's going to be there. I think
he said he might stop by.
Yeah.
We have to. Kevin's in the room here with us. Kevin is who actually contacted me and got this all together. So Kevin, thank you.
Absolutely.
So guys, I'm glad you stopped by. We're going to get this up on all the social media, and we're looking forward to Saturday. Let's fill a liquor store up and try a little mead and have some fun.
Well, thank you for hosting us and giving us this opportunity and space to speak.
Yeah. It's great to meet you, and we'll do this again. We'll have you back on for whatever else you got going on, all right?
Yeah, and we'll kidnap you for an event or two.
Okay, we can do that. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Hardy's on the way right after a Bobby Bones morning show update. This is Kane Brown, backseat driver on Uncle Mike for the workday.